How's everybody doing today? Welcome back to the channel. As you guys see by the title, I'm going to be giving you guys my 3 keys, kind of just the points of emphasis that I think the Minnesota Vikings should be focusing on heading into this next season. I think if they do these 3 things, look back at the end of the year, you see like, hey, you know, we did this, this, and this. You're going to have a successful year. I think this team's talented. You guys know this. I've been saying this a lot before. But anyways, thank you guys so much for the support on the channel. Really, sorry for no upload past couple days. I had friends visiting. But anyways, we are back full summer mode. We are videos trying every single day, especially it's off season. But obviously, once we get closer to the season, they're going to be pumping out, no doubt, every single day. So anyways, I'm going to give you guys my 3 keys for the Vikings who have a successful NFL season coming up. Let's talk about it. All right, so the number one thing I want this year, and I think a lot of people think I'm gonna go O-line right now and just say like, oh, good pass protection, you know, that's what we need. I'm going to have a consistent, dominant pass rush. Those 2 words are very important when what I said before pass rush, consistent and dominant. When it comes to the Minnesota Vikings pass rush, listen. The Vikings last year, frankly, were probably the worst team at getting to the quarterback. I don't know if they were last in sacks, but they were damn near close. I think they had 23.5 sacks. And 4.5 of those came from Yannick Ngakoue, who left the team at, I believe, week 5. That kind of shows that they had absolutely zero pressure to the quarterback. And I know a lot of people say like, oh yeah, secondary is bad last year. You know, obviously that needs improves. I agree. And they're like, oh, they're terrible against the run. I mean, the Vikings defense, the problem was the defensive line generated zero pressure to the quarterback. And that's just something I think with Danielle Hunter, Dalvin Tomlinson, you know, Michael Pierce, you know, DJ Wonnum, I think it will be I think it's very achievable that they could have a dominant and consistency. That's the number one thing with this pass rush. We've seen Vikings in years past, they've always been able to generate pressure, but it's the consistent pressure. I remember, I believe it was 2018, and I remember the Vikings, you know, they were top 10 in sacks that year. But I remember, like, I think we had like 14 sacks against just the Lions alone. And listen, I'll love if we sack the Lions 14 times this year. I'm all here for it. But when it comes to big-time games, to be able to generate pressure whenever you want by just manhandling the other team. So that's my number 1 point of emphasis going into this year. I think this is the number 1 thing that they need to focus on. I get the whole line. I get everything else. There's other stuff that's just, or not just as important, but I think that are important. But I think this is the number 1 kind of, I mean, this has to be it. Like, this has to be top of the bulletin board material. Improve the front 7. Go get after the quarterback this year. And I think they've done that in the offseason. I think they agree with this in-house. Like, in the Vikings organization, I'm sure they've talked about this. You know, Michael Pierce, you know, people don't realize, I get he's not a big sack guy, but he holds up and he blocks 2 people. You need to block 2 people with him. It allows the edge rushers to get free on the outside. That's also a huge thing. Then obviously you're bringing Danielle Hunter back. He's going to make an impact. Obviously Anthony Barr, you know, he'll throw in his 5 sacks a year. I'm hoping they move Anthony Barr more towards an edge this upcoming season, but we'll have to see. But my number 1 thing is my number 1 key for the Vikings this year: generate a consistent and dominant pass rush. Number 2 key to the Vikings season is they need to win the turnover margin. You know, this also has to do with the pass rush, kind of following up on it. Strip sacks, all that will come with a pass rush. But also, if you look on the other side of football, Kirk Cousins, he's honestly done a decent job of turning the ball over. But if you just kind of narrow down the season to those first 6 weeks, he was really bad. He struggled with turning the ball over. And even we've seen Dalvin kind of have those problems with turning the ball over. Then if you even look at, like, later on in the year, when it came to, like, key turnovers, I think it was Jacksonville and Carolina. We opened up the second half in the Carolina game with 2 straight defensive touchdowns given up. I think it was a Kirk strip sack, and I think Dalvin or Madison or one of those 2, they fumbled. And then the Jacksonville game, I think Kirk threw a pick 6. I think it was like 3. They gave up 21 points in 2 weeks right out of halftime. That just can't happen. I mean, that just won't happen this year. I mean, that doesn't happen to good and successful teams, and I don't know what it is, but it also hurts the offense. Because the offense, I mean, once you turn the ball over and give it right back, you're giving the defense confidence. And plus, listen, if you win the turnover margin, you get more possessions, you score more points. It's just math. That's a huge thing for the Vikings to win the turnover margin. And also with the secondary, especially the corners, they don't really seem like the biggest ball hawk type of guys. I don't know if that was just last year, but hopefully that will change in this upcoming season. Hopefully they'll be able to get a more ball hawk mentality and kind of go take the football away, and also forcing fumbles. They were pretty good at that last year. I mean, and Eric Wilson, he's gone. He generated a lot of turnovers. So people are going to have to step up. Harrison Smith will probably get his 5 this year. I'm hoping Xavier Woods can be that guy. Maybe Dantzler will get a couple. Pat Pete will get a couple. You know, Daniel Hunter will get a couple strip sacks. You know, maybe Barr will get a pick. Kendricks will probably get his couple picks and maybe a fumble recovery. I just think they need to win the turnover margin. I think that'll be huge, especially with this offense. You know, this offense isn't really like, hey, we're going to blow you up over the top. We're going to hang 40 on you. It's, hey, we're going to be very, very efficient, hand the ball off, play action. I think if you have an offense like that where you set it up off the run with the bootleg, and I think for an offense like that, it's key to win the turnover margins. That's my second key for the year. All right, my third key of the year, I'm kind of throwing you guys a curveball at you right now, but every single game the Vikings play this year, Mike Zimmer needs to be the best coach. And that doesn't just say every Sunday when he steps on the field. When it comes to adjustments, Mike Zimmer needs the best coach, but it's the preparation. I think Mike Zimmer is a fantastic coach when it comes to preparing his team on defensive mentality and going over when he's scouting. I think he's great at that. I mean, you can see it on the film. I mean, he can put together a defensive game plan as better as anybody. However, I think Zimmer does struggle when it comes to adjustments. I think because he's so certain on his game plan during the week, he has a tough time adjusting to the game plan that needs to be adjusted for the second half. We'll see, though. I'm thinking that would change this year, honestly. I just think Zimmer needs to kind of improve his second half mentality. I think he needs to be the best coach. I think if Mike Zimmer has a good year, if Mike Zimmer puts his players in positions that they could be in, they're going to produce because there's talent. I think if this defense has a boatload of talent on it, and if Zimmer can't get it together and he can't be the best coach on the field every single Sunday, I don't think they have a chance. I don't. If Zimmer has a terrible year, they don't have a chance at a Super Bowl. Obviously, obviously you agree with that. If your head coach does not have a good year, you're not going to win the Super Bowl. I just think Zimmer, he has potential, and the defense has the potential to really make him shine. And I think if you look at Mike Zimmer, and this defense has a complete turnaround, going from 29th, let's just say they're top 5, and the Vikings are 12-5 or 13-4 or whatever it may be, he's going to be in the head coach or coach of the year conversation. And that's what I'm trying to get at Zimmer. You need to. He's always regarded as a good coach. Take that leap. Just like Kirk, good quarterback. Take that leap. It's about progression this year. Anyways, I want to know what you guys think. Obviously, Zimmer's not going to be the best coach every single Sunday, but hey, any given Sunday, if Zimmer's the best coach, we win the turnover battle and we get a pass rush, I don't care how bad the O-line is. I don't care how bad the secondary is. We're going to win games. Anyways, thank you guys so much for watching. Skol Vikes. Talk to you guys next time. Peace.